Hi, I'm Bullhead City Police Chief Robert Trebes.
We went and read that there was a woman who had been arrested for feeding the homeless in Bullhead City, Arizona.
So Norma, you back in March were arrested for feeding the homeless out in Arizona. Can you take us through what happened back in March?
It was just a normal, regular day doing my thing. It was nice and warm and sunny, and a couple of police officers, drove up.
Okay, well, I'm going to call my higher ups and figure out how we're going to handle this, okay?
If people don't understand the council manager form of government, they may not understand that some of you don't know our staff, and that's by design. They work for me.
Okay, well, I'm going to call my higher ups and figure out how we're going to handle this, okay?
In the audience here, we have Lieutenant Brad Holdway. He is the patrol commander. He is also the SWAT commander, and also a firearms subject matter expert. Lieutenant Brad Holdway. He is the patrol commander. He is also the SWAT commander, and also a firearms subject matter expert.
Okay, so I've made contact with the lady and a gentleman that was here. I went up and talked to her. I said, what are you doing? She goes, I'm just bringing the transients some food. They're hungry.
Lieutenant Brad Holdway. He is the patrol commander. He is also the SWAT commander, and also a firearms subject matter expert.
Yeah, so I just got I'm not on speakerphone, right?
Yeah, you are. I'll take you off.
Many law enforcement agencies use body-worn cameras for the purpose of everyone's safety. They serve as a tool to gather evidence and record all law enforcement encounters with our citizens.
I'm not on speakerphone, right?
Yeah, you are. I'll take you off.
We know how important it is to maintain a great relationship with our supportive community.
I'm not on speakerphone, right?
Yeah, you are. I'll take you off.
And body-worn cameras can be valuable in keeping community trust, transparency, and accountability.
I think, as Toby mentioned, the system of government that we have here, the fact that our city is so transparent and so respondent to the citizens' needs and wants, I'm thankful to work for a system like that.
I'm not on speakerphone, right?
Yeah, you are. I'll take you off.
Trust, transparency, and accountability.
I think this is a PR nightmare, but okay. Here's the bad news. Uh-oh. You're under arrest.
The city of Bullhead has made it a crime to feed the needy.
Technically, I'm supposed to be handcuffing you and everything too, but I'm not going to do that.
I am not enabling homelessness. I'm enabling these people to survive.
And I actually told my wife, I said, I'm off tomorrow. If they're still out there, I'm going to be standing next to them with a sign. But my sign's going to say, don't give them shit. Oh, did I mention I'm not politically correct? My sign's going to say, don't give them shit.
Well, he says, I had some bad news for you. He says, said good and bad. So first he says, I'm going to have to arrest you. Then another vehicle drove up. Later I heard that it was chief of police.
Hi, I'm Bullhead City Police Chief Robert Trebes. The Bullhead City Police Department is excited to announce that we are implementing a body-worn camera program.
I'm not on speakerphone, right?
Yeah, you are. I'll take you off.
This can't be real. It can't be the case that a city is arresting someone for helping those in need. And then you find out that it is the case, unfortunately, that that's exactly what's going on. And that violates the Constitution.
Also, one of the big things that's really important to me about making I want to make Bullhead the most professional police force in the nation. And one of those things is training that we do. We started last year, just completed it this year, 40 hours of A to Z constitutional law training with.
And so, as a constitutional attorney, one of the things we do is we have, we hear stories and we say, okay, well, that sounds a little off. And then you go and do the research and you do a little more investigation and you say, well, that is off. That isn't how these things are supposed to go. And that's exactly what we were able to do here.
Also, like I said, being a student of history, specifically our constitutional republic.
But let's sort of pivot in now to this Bullhead City, Arizona ordinance. The ordinance essentially says you can't feed people for charitable purposes in the park, correct?
So mostly, there's a permit requirement. And so if you want to feed people with a charitable purpose on public land, you first have to get a permit. These permits are expensive. They're only available for one person, 1 day a month, and they're only available at one location 1 day a month, regardless of who asks for it. They're expensive to apply for. They're very difficult to comply with. You have commercial kitchen requirements and a whole host of other restrictions that you end up facing. And so in essence, it acts as a ban on people serving those in need in public spaces. And
as opposed to anywhere else in the world, Americans enjoy something that no one else has in human history, and that is your government is put there by the citizens, and your government's supposed to be responsible to the citizens.
And why would an ordinance like this be created?
We have video of city council meetings where they talk about their exact goal is to eliminate homeless people from public parks.
And I actually told my wife, I said, I'm off tomorrow. If they're still out there, I'm going to be standing next to them with a sign. But my sign's going to say, don't give them shit. Oh, did I mention I'm not politically correct?
That they don't want the public sleeping, they don't want any homeless folks sleeping in public spaces, and they don't want anyone who's homeless eating in public spaces. And so they've passed several ordinances kind of around homelessness. The ordinances don't use language targeting homelessness because I think they recognize that would be additionally problematic.
But my sign's going to say, don't give them shit.
I'm not on speakerphone, right?
Yeah, you are. I'll take you off.
So instead, they just say, okay, well, you can't feed people if you're doing it for a charitable purpose. You can feed your friends, and that's just fine. So you could serve the exact same food in the exact same location to 50 people if they were at a birthday party, for example. But you can't do it if you're doing it for a charitable purpose. And so these kinds of justifications and exemptions that they've put into the ordinance really undercut its effectiveness and certainly its constitutionality.
I want to show the community how good things are here. And it would be great to do it with you guys.
I would be happy.
The whole goal of our lawsuit is to vindicate the rights of Norma and to protect the rights of those who want to engage in these charitable traditions that are so deeply rooted in American history and the American experience.
And so that goes back to the heart of our mission, right? I mean, we're out there to protect lives, keep the community safe, but we're also out there to uphold your constitutional rights.
But Norma isn't contributing to homelessness. She's just helping alleviate some of the problems associated with that. And that's hunger, which is just such a critical experience in the human tradition.
And we need to get that right. You guys entrust us with so much power and authority. We need to get that right. And that's part of what we're doing here at Bullhead PD.
Yeah, that's very powerful. And I couldn't.
And, the Bullhead City area and the larger Mojave County around it, unfortunately, has a lot of poverty in it.
I want to show the community how good things are here.
And so there are food pantries and there are homeless shelters in the area, but unfortunately they don't have capacity to serve everyone who needs it.
Then another vehicle drove up. Later I heard that it was chief of police.
Hi, I'm Bullhead City Police Chief Robert Trebes.
But my sign's going to say, don't give them shit.
If people don't understand the council manager form of government, they may not understand that some of you don't know our staff. And that's by design. They work for me.